Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of digital fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn, and today I have something very special for all of you. This is my very first deck tech for a brand new card game called Wonders of the First. Now, I recently kind of fell in love with this game. I went from intrigued to cautiously optimistic to it sort of taking over my life. Now, the deck that we're running today was the deck that recently won the very first Nationals tournament. It was piloted by Caleb Collier through 4 rounds of Swiss and absolutely dominated the top 8. So this deck is called Dragon Dynasty. And before we break it down and go over all of the nuances, the strategy, and the synergies that really help you get the most out of this deck, I would recommend that you check out my review video first. I'm going to link that in the comments and in the description for you guys. Not only do I give my thoughts on what I like about the game and what I dislike about the game, but more importantly, I go over the fundamentals of how to play the game, and a lot of that basic fundamental knowledge of how to play the game is going to be really important when we dive into the advanced strategies that are in this video going over this deck. So check out that one first. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to my partner in crime, No Refills, for joining me on this video. Without you, I wouldn't be able to make this, so thank you so much for being my opponent. Caleb, congratulations on the win. I also just really want to point out that you can download 8 free-to-play, download, print, and play decks right now, and the developers are urging the community to do that. So if you have any reservations about this game whatsoever, I would just say download the print and play decks, play it for free, and if you're anything like me, you'll probably fall in love with the game just like I did. And if you don't have anyone to play with in person, you can also get the game for free on Tabletop Simulator and play those 8 decks on there. So there's no reason to not just give it a try if you're even just a little bit intrigued. Also, do me a favor and like this video and subscribe if you're new, because I have a ton more deck techs on the way. If you're impatient and just want to skip over the deck tech breakdown and get right to the gameplay, I do have chapters, so click on the timestamp and do that. But if you're still here, let's break down this deck. This is Dragon Dynasty, and honestly, I'm not surprised in the least that this is the deck that took the win at the first ever Nationals tournament for Wonders of the First, because this deck has 2 completely different play styles, 2 strategies you can utilize, and you can lean into either one depending on what kind of deck you're up against, or sometimes if you're lucky, you can actually cross-pollinate the synergies from both and utilize them both in the same game, and that's when things get really, really crazy. So first of all, let's start with the early game plan. You can go wide with a whole bunch of early dragons that are cheap to play and can take over realms very quickly and very efficiently and get you an early lead. Taking a whole bunch of stones in the first 2, 3, 4 rounds can be absolutely backbreaking for your opponent. Put them on the back foot and put them in a position where they're trying to take back the stones you took from them, and they spend the rest of the game trying to do that instead of focused on the new stones that are available in the new realms that are opening up. And that just completely allows you to run the game at where you want to run it and force them to have to meet you where you want them to meet you on the playing field. And it can get kind of crazy. So we can do this as early as turn 1, round 1, with a koi scale. Costs just 1, it has a power of 2, so it's not super powerful, but if you can manage to swing in and take a stone before your opponent puts down a defender in realm 1, you can easily take the stone. And then it has this ability where on defense, this ability triggers and gives it +2 this round. So if your opponent tries to swing back and retake the stone, now they're swinging into a 4 power koi scale. So koi scale is a really easy way to take a realm that doesn't have a defender yet and then defend it really well against things of a similar cost that don't quite have the power to push through its defense buff. And we can supplement this with things like Lurking Bloodeye Dragonette, which comes down as just a 2 cost, but we can make that a 1 cost if we get a 𝐸𝒄𝒄𝒄. And then it's just a 1 power, but again, this is an easy way to just take that first realm or second realm or third realm really quickly in the early game if you manage to get it down before they have a defender. But what makes the Lurking Bloodeye Dragonette even better is on arrival, you get to destroy any target item in the realm, which can be absolutely backbreaking, and you'll see in the game that we play, It is absolutely backbreaking at one point, but the Lurking Bloodeye Dragonette also has Horde 2, which means at the end of a round, you get to put a +1/+1 counter, or rather a +1 power counter, on the Lurking Bloodeye Dragonette if you have at least 2 stones. So again, it reinforces this idea of getting this early lead, and then your Lurking Bloodeye Dragonette starts to grow bigger if you can get that early lead. And the last early play we have is Sunsand Goldscale. This is a 2-cost wonder. It has 2 power, so again, it can pretty effectively take a realm if you could just get it down before they have a really good blocker. And whenever you play a wonder with cost 5 or greater, you also gain 2 energy from this. And we'll get back to that in a bit because that plays a bit into the other game plan that happens a little bit later on, round 4, round 5, around there. But also this guy has flying. So what's great about Sunsand Goldscale is if you attack, even if you don't need to take a stone in a realm, you can attack, and after combat that flying ability kicks in and allows you to move the wonder to any adjacent realm after the combat. So sometimes you can take a stone and then move to a different realm to get ready to take another stone. And you can use one action. You can use 2 actions in the same round to attack in 2 different realms in just one round because you have access to 3 actions every round, or sometimes more if you're running specific cards that are allowing you to get more actions, but that's something for further on in the video. But this flying ability makes this a really good play early where you can, again, take those stones early and then eventually move this to adjacent realms to start taking more stones without having to commit more wonders to the board. Now, why are we going wide with all of these wonders? Because we have Syl Scalewisper. If we could spend the first 2, 3, 4 turns getting these cheaper dragon wonders on the battlefield, we can follow that up by playing a 2-cost Syl Scalewisper, and on arrival it creates a 2-power dragon token wonder in every realm where you control a dragon. So now all of those realms where you took those early stones, they start doubling up on their wonders, and you're exponentially increasing the power you have there and making it so much harder for your opponent to take back that realm. As if that wasn't enough, because you've been taking all the stones early, Syl Scalewisper, even though she has a base power of 0, she gets +1 power for each stone you control. So if you did your job right and you took all of those early stones, well, now Syl Scalewisper herself is actually a pretty big threat. And together with the tokens and all of the initial dragons, you should be able to hold down those early realms pretty easily and make it an absolute nightmare for your opponent to swing in and take back the stones. Now, how do we double down on this? Viking Sage of the Forge. This is a 2-cost wonder with 3 power, and the first time another wonder with cost 2 or less arrives under your control in any realm this round, you gain a free attack in that realm. So not only does this guy let you get a free attack by playing one of your cheap dragons, if you can get him out early enough, but also, if this guy's down when you play the Syl Scalewisper and you get all those tokens, well, now you get your choice of an attack in any of those realms where those tokens were created for free, because those tokens are a 2-cost or less wonder that will actually trigger the Viking Sage of the Forge. So it doubles down on those synergies, and it can be absolutely crazy if you pull it off. But it doesn't stop there. We go even crazier with this strategy by playing Floral Diadem of the Verdant Queen. Now, this is not a Sulfura or a Thalwind card, which we're mostly sticking to Sulfura and Thalwind cards in this deck. This is a Petraian card, but it's so good in this deck, you still kind of have to run it, even if you don't have the link and you can't get cost reduction for it. This is 4 cost, it's an equipment, and it gives the equipped wonder and all wonders you control that share a class or lineage +2 power. That can be absolutely insane. Most of our dragons are both dragons and beasts, so you want to equip this to a dragon that's both a dragon and beast so that all dragons will get +2 and all beasts will get +2, and we'll get back to that in just a little bit. But if you can get this crazy board state where you went wide with a bunch of tokens from Syl Scalewisper, Now you play Floral Diadem of the Verdant Queen, and all of those tokens and all the original dragons, they're all getting a +2 buff. Your power is just so ridiculous in every realm that your opponent almost doesn't stand a chance. It gets kind of crazy. In addition to Floral Diadem of the Verdant Queen, we are running one copy of Petraian home-cooked meal. This is just 1 cost, and you have to sacrifice it as a free action, which means it won't use one of your actions for the turn, and when you do, you name a class and put a +1 counter on each wonder you control of that class, and also untap them. So if you've used any tap-free abilities or anything like that, the Petraian home-cooked meal can actually untap them as well. That's not really why we're using it in this deck, though. Putting a +1 counter, naming dragon and putting a +1 counter on all dragons is absurd, right? And it's a way to get kind of the same synergies as the Floral Diadem, but for a lot less cost. We've also got Dragon's Eggs. So, as if we weren't going wide enough, if we can get Dragon's Eggs down early, this is a 4-cost, 0-power card, but at the beginning of each round, you create a 1-power baby dragon token wonder in this realm. But if they ever kill Dragon's Eggs, when it dies, you create a 7-power mother dragon token wonder with flying in that realm. So, you create a situation where if you can get this down early enough, you can just start popping out baby dragons in that realm every single turn, and by the end of the game, you have a ton of 1-power tokens in that realm that are all getting the buff from Floral Diadem of the Verdant Queen, and it's almost impossible to take over that realm. But if your opponent kills the Dragon Eggs to stop this, then you get a 7-power flying dragon, probably earlier than you should have that, and you can just use that to absolutely take over the game. So this can be really crazy if you can get it out early enough. And if you can get a 𝐸𝑚𝒄 down on round 1 or 2 and manage to take that stone on round 1, you'll have 3 energy on round 2 and get the 1 cost reduction from the 𝐸𝒚𝒄. So this will actually be able to come down as early as turn 2 if your game plan is working and you're doing the things you're supposed to be doing. And if you can get this down on turn 2, round 2 rather, it's backbreaking. This will just take over the game and be absolutely insane. In addition to the Dragon's Eggs, we're also able to sort of double down on this idea of going wide with a bunch of dragons by using Bylar Pyreforge. This is a 4-cost wonder with 5 power, so he can be a pretty substantial threat in a realm by himself as well, which is nice. But at the end of each round, you may put a +1 counter on another target wonder, and if it's a dragon, you put an additional +1 counter on it. This can get really absurd. Again, if you get it down early enough, just like the Dragon Eggs, you can start to get these counters every single round, and by the end of the game, actually have a substantial more amount of power on your wonders than you otherwise would have had. So he's sort of like a poor man's version of Dragon Eggs. He's not as good as Dragon Eggs, but since we can only have 1 Dragon Eggs in the deck, being able to run this as kind of like a backup option for doing something similar seems pretty good. In addition, we've also got Dwarven Vault. Now, because this early game plan is to take as many stones as possible and then try to hold the fort, that doesn't always come together 100%. Sometimes we take all the stones early, but our defenses aren't as much as we'd like, and that's where something like Dwarven Vault comes into play. 4 cost, and when it comes down, whatever realm you put it in, it has Guardian there, which means stones can't be seized from you from battles in that realm. So, if you have one realm in particular where you did take the stone, but the defenses aren't great, maybe because you used a flying wonder, and now the flying wonder has moved on to another realm, and the stone is left undefended, you can just slam a Dwarven Vault down and shore up your defenses in that realm, and they can never take the stone back, which means you can just focus all of your attention on the other realms and never have to worry about that one. That can be kind of crazy. Also in the mid game we have Bloodfur Embercreeper. This is a 4-cost wonder that has 6 power, which is pretty good for 4 cost, but also on attack it gets +2 this round. And this guy's sort of your glue. This guy's gluing your early game to your mid game, mid to late game. and letting you use a wonder that can kind of hold his own if you have a realm where you really need to make a substantial push on the stone, where your opponent's like stockpiling a lot of power. This guy can come down and sometimes turn the tide of the game. It's also worth noting that his on attack trigger gives him +2 for the entire round. So if you spend multiple actions attacking, multiple turns in a row in the same round, every time he attacks, that +2 is going to stack, and it's going to last until the end of the entire round. So if you used all 3 of your actions to attack with Bloodfur Embercreeper 3 times, by the time it gets to that last attack, it's swinging in for 12 power. And sometimes that can be backbreaking and be absolutely what you want to be doing, so keep that in mind. But moving on, let's talk about the other side of the deck and what the deck can do in the mid to late game, regardless of whether your early game went the way you wanted to. And that kind of starts with Sunsand Goldscale. Now, like we said earlier, he has this ability: when you play a wonder with cost 5 or greater, you gain 2 energy. So if you do have a Sunsand Goldscale down, or maybe even 2 if you're lucky, you can actually start chaining together higher cost wonders, play something much more expensive, get energy back, and use that to play another thing that's much more expensive and get way more power onto the field. You can get kind of late game power onto the field as early as the mid game, you know? Stuff that might take you until round 6 or round 7 in a normal game, maybe you can start jamming them on round 4 or round 5. And to reinforce this, we've also got Dragon Gold, which is a 4-cost item, and wonders in your hand with cost 7 or more cost 2 less to play. So not only do you get 2 energy back when you play something that costs 5 or more, but now also, if it's something that costs 7 or more, it's costing 2 less and only costing 5, or, you know, if it's an 8-drop, it'll cost 6, costing 2 less to play to begin with, and still refunding you that energy if you have Sunsand Goldscale in play as well. So they can kind of pile up their synergies on each other and make it really easy to chain together really expensive, crazy stuff. In the mid game, that's going to help you get out things like Wartamed Manticore earlier, which is a 6-power secondary wonder. On attack, if it has previously attacked this round, you put +2 counters on it. So it's kind of like Bloodfur Embercreeper, except even better, because the +2 it gets doesn't just last until the end of the round. They're counters that last for the rest of the game. So if you can do multiple attacks in a turn, you can start to really buff this guy up and have that buff carry over into later rounds. But what makes that especially good is the fact that this guy has flying. So not only is he getting bigger if you're attacking multiple times, but you're also able to move him across the board into multiple realms, so that you can then take that beefier power that you built up and put it to use in a realm where you actually need it, which can be kind of crazy. The other 5-cost guy that we can get down in the mid game is Verdant Cliffwing. This is another 5-cost that gives you 6 power, and on attack, when it attacks unopposed, you get to draw 2 cards. So if there's no other wonders in the realm on your opponent's side that can defend, not only are you probably going to seize the stone there, but you also get to draw 2 cards. And because this also has flying and can move to an adjacent realm after combat, that's another way to get this into a realm where you can make sure it is unopposed, so that you're getting the ability to draw those extra cards, which is really nice. But where the cost benefits from Sunsand Goldscale and Dragon Gold really come into play is when we start getting into the really expensive, crazy primary and legendary wonders that we have in the deck that cost 7 or more. The first of which being Blinsworth Goldscale. This is a 7-cost dragon with 7 power. It is a core, so you're going to have a Sulfara Link in play, a land with Sulfara Link, a Sulfara land in play in order to play this at all, because it has that core ability. But when this captures a stone, you gain 2 energy and draw a card. So similar to the Verdant Cliffwing, you have sort of this ability that can trigger when you swing. Now, this is only triggering when you're actually capturing a stone, so it's not going to be every time it attacks like the Verdant Cliffwing, but it's still a very valuable ability, especially when this guy also has flying. And I'm learning that flying in this game is really, really good, because it allows you to use these wonders to take stones in multiple realms without having to waste actions or cards playing new wonders to new realms, which under the right circumstances, can be kind of nuts. In addition to Blinsworth Goldscale, we have Cindermaw the Scalder, a 9-cost legendary wonder with 9 power. Another sulfara core here, so you need the sulfara link. It has flying, and on attack you destroy target enemy or item. So this is another crazy on attack trigger. This one lets you take away some value from the opponent, and depending what kind of deck you're up against, your opponent's deck might really be digging deep into items, and you might have to really destroy specific items, as well as just getting the option of destroying an enemy is really powerful regardless of what deck you're up against. So this guy can be really good depending on the situation, but again, it's the flying and the ability to move him after an attack that lets him really utilize that on attack ability to its fullest. And then the last crazy expensive ridiculous wonder we have in this deck is another legendary wonder. This is Skrull, ruler of the 3 lakes. It costs 10 energy, a whopping 10. But remember, if you have the Thawwind link, since this is a Thawwind card, it's going to cost 1 less. And since it's a core card, you kind of need that Thawwind link, so it's almost always going to cost you 9. It has 10 power, and on play, which means as soon as it enters a realm from your hand when you initially play it, you get to choose an on-arrival ability of another wonder you control and trigger it 3 times. So, do you remember that Syl Scalewisper ability that we talked about in the early game where you can just add dragon tokens to every realm that has a dragon? That's an on-arrival ability. That triggers on-arrival. So if you have a Syl Scalewisper in play and you slam a Skrull, you get to exponentially increase all of the tokens you have. You get to trigger that ability 3 times, which puts 3 tokens in every single realm that has a dragon. But in addition to that, there's some other on-arrival abilities in this deck you can trigger if you're in a bind, such as the ability to on-arrival destroy an item from the smaller dragon that we saw earlier, and I think there's some other stuff too, but either way, Skrull just brings an absolute crazy amount of late game power to the game, and sometimes even if the game's not in your favor, if you manage to slam a Skrull at the right time, you can just take back the game completely with just that one move. He's just that good, but I mean, for a 10-cost wonder that requires a core, he kinda should, right? Another card that we have that's really cool in this deck is Thundercrash Axe. This is a 3-cost secondary item. It's a Sulfura card. Equipped wonder gets +2 power, but also the first time it's equipped each round, and at the start of each round, the equipped wonder gets a free attack. And this is really, really good in conjunction with all of those abilities we saw earlier on our wonders that trigger on attack. So any of our wonders that have those crazy on attack triggers like drawing cards or gaining energy or destroying enemies or items, all of those cool on attack triggers, we can actually trigger that stuff for free by slamming a Thundercrash Axe on one of our wonders that has that ability, and it immediately gets a free attack and gets to trigger that ability. And then if we get that down early enough, every single round for the rest of the game, at the beginning of the round, that wonder is going to get a free attack. And even if it's in a realm where, you know, you already have the stone and you don't need to attack, you're still going to get to trigger those on attack abilities. So Thundercrash Axe being able to give you an on attack trigger of your wonder every single round for free without using up an action is what really makes the card amazing. If you can, you should try to hold on to this and save it for that kind of setup. But even if you're not in that kind of situation, you can still put this thing to great use by getting basically free actions out of it, being able to do every turn what would normally cost you an action. And in this game, actions are king, so anything you can do to save actions or to gain actions or to do things that would normally require you to spend actions, but without actually spending actions, all of that is going to be insanely valuable. So Thundercrash Axe here, absolutely nuts. But in addition, we have some support, we have some control elements in the deck. So we also have Rend. This is a 4-cost secondary spell, and if you control 2 or more stones, you destroy target wonder. So again, this is a really cheap, aggressive piece of removal that can just destroy any wonder. but you do have to be in that early game plan where you're aggressively taking stones early to get to those 2 stones in order to be able to play this. So if you're not there, sometimes you might have to wait and play this a lot later in the game when you can finally get those 2 stones. So another card that's just even crazier and helps you support that early game strategy if you can do the things that you're trying to do in the early game. And then in addition to that, we have Vapor Blast Artillery. This is a 4-cost item in Thalwind, and Equipped Wonder gets +3 power, but also when Equipped Wonder attacks, you may move target defending wonder to an adjacent realm. Now, this sort of acts as removal, because what you do is you swing in, you remove the big problematic blocker that they might have defending the realm, and move it to a different realm. Move it to a realm where they already have the stone and it's useless there, and then you can just swing in and get the stone, which can be really powerful. But sometimes you can get even more out of a card like this if you put it on one of your flyers. Now you have like a mobile weapons platform. You can start moving that thing around the board to different realms wherever you need it, and when you swing in with those realms, you get to use this to move whatever wonder you need to in that realm to a different realm. Sometimes you can even attack in a realm where you're already going to be winning, knowing that you're going to use flying to move your wonder to the adjacent realm afterwards, and you can use Vapor Blast Artillery to take the wonder with you to that realm so that they can't attack back and retake the stone in the realm that you just took the stone out of, which is kind of an advanced tactic. It might take a few games of really understanding exactly how to make that work before you can pull that off yourself, but it feels so good when you do it right, and it is a very clever move, so keep that in mind. Now, we've also got a whole bunch of lands in this deck so that we can enable the links that we need, play the core cards that we need, and, you know, also get some extra actions and extra abilities. So we've got Vulcan Vale, and this thing gives you your Sulfara Link, and you can harvest it to gain an action, which is really, really important. Harvesting means you tap it, turn it sideways, and you can only do it once per game. So at some point, once in the game, only once ever, you can turn this thing sideways. It doesn't cost you an action to do it. It's a free action, and it gains you an action. So sometimes you can put down a whole bunch of lands early to get their cost reduction from their links on the orbitals that they are to, and then save them up, and you know, round 6, round 7, when it's getting to the late game, you can now harvest a bunch of them, gain a bunch of actions, and have tons of actions to take in the late game with your crazy big board state that you spent the whole game building. And sometimes that's a good strategy to use, but other times you might want to use these earlier in the game to gain an extra action after your opponent is out of actions, because if you spend an action, a free action, harvesting this to gain an action, it forces your opponent to kind of run out of actions before you do. So if you can start to like stockpile these actions by using free actions, force your opponent to run out of actions, it puts you in a position where now maybe you have a couple actions left in the round, your opponent is out of actions and can't do anything, and now you're able to do whatever you want without worrying about your opponent, you know, attacking back and retaking something or messing with what you do in those last few turns of the round. So depending on how you use your lands, games can play out very differently, and you have to be very careful with how you use your actions and when you use your actions depending on the board state and depending on what your opponent's doing. But what's great about Vulcan Vale is when you play a third Sulfara land, you get to untap it. So what you want to try to do is get 2 Vulcan Vales out as quick as you can as your first 2 Sulfara lands. Now, the link from the Sulfara link from having a Sulfara land in play is only going to give you a cost reduction of 1 energy on your Sulfara cards. If you get a second Vulcan Vale out or a second Sulfara land at all, that additional link isn't going to give you any more of a cost reduction. You can only get a maximum of 1 cost reduction per orbital if you have any lands at all of that orbital. It doesn't care how many lands you have, but in the case of Vulcan Vale, you still want to get down 2 early, because if you have 2 down and you have the ability to play a third Sulfara land, you can tap your Vulcan Vales as free actions earlier in the round first, and then eventually later play that third Sulfura land and untap them. And in that way, Vulcan Vales are kind of each worth 2 actions if you can play them out properly and use them and plan ahead of time and use them the way they're intended. So make sure to get your Vulcan Vales out early, and then on the correct turn when it's time, start cashing in those actions, playing that third land, untapping them, and getting an insane amount of value. Now, in addition to Vulcan Vale, we have Fortress Brightstone, which is another Sulfura land that we could end up playing to untap the Vulcan Vales later on. But also, the Fortress Brightstone, when you harvest it, you also get 2 energy for if you control a dragon in that realm. So not only will you get an action back by harvesting the Fortress Brightstone, which you can only do once a game, remember, by tapping it, but you'll also get 2 energy if you have a dragon there. And chances are you will have a dragon there, so you can get some extra value off of this. But that being said, you still want to play the Vulcan Vale first if you can, because setting yourself up for double the actions off those Vulcan Vales later on can be absolutely backbreaking if you do it right. In addition, we've also got some Thalwind lands. This is Iron Citadel, which gives you a Thalwind link for your Thalwind orbital cards, reducing those cards by 1 cost. You can harvest it for an action just like every land, but it also has Kingdom 5. This means that if you have 5 lands at all in play, this ability will turn on. You don't need 5 lands of the same orbital, you just need 5 lands in play. And if you do, this Kingdom 5 ability turns on and makes it so that if you control a wonder with flying in this realm, defending enemy wonders without flying don't add their power to battles in this realm. So Iron Citadel is a really good late game land where you can jam it on just the right realm and take all of their non-flying wonders kind of out of the equation and use it to take over a realm that otherwise you might not have a chance of taking over at all. Maybe they've built up an insane board presence and piled a whole bunch of wonders into one realm, and you just have no shot whatsoever of taking it, but you notice none of them have flying. Well, jam the Iron Citadel and go to town, and that can be kinda crazy. We also have Whisper Bay as another Thalwind Link land, and when you play it, you get to look at the top card of your deck. You may put it back on top or bury it, so a little bit of efficiency here, setting up your draws is kind of nice. Burying it in this case means putting it on the bottom of your deck, and sometimes you're going to want to do that to make sure you're that much more likely to draw into what you need to draw into, depending on what the board state is. The last card I want to talk about is, ironically enough, the first. And this is a land that you can harvest to gain an action just like any land, but it also gives you all orbital links. It doesn't have an extra ability like the lands that are particular to one orbital or another, so there is a little bit of value loss there. But getting all orbital links on just one land can be absolutely crazy. It means that all of your cards, regardless of what orbital they belong to, they're all going to cost 1 less energy as soon as you have this on the battlefield. That being said, this is a legendary land, which means you can only have one in your whole deck, which means you can't rely on it consistently. But what you can do is use this kind of as the glue to get yourself to the number of lands you want in each orbital to, do the math basically and make sure you have the consistency you need to make sure you're getting all of the links you need for whatever orbitals you have without having to add unnecessary lands. So instead of adding, an extra Sulfura land, an extra Thalwind land, an extra Petraian land, you can just add the first and get to how many cards you want in the deck that can give you those certain links with 1 card instead of 3, and then use those other 2 cards on, putting better cards, things that you want to get earlier, things that are more powerful and better fitting the deck. Use those slots for those cards instead of extra lands. Sometimes that can be the right place. So don't lean on the first too heavily. You never want to use it in a deck where you're relying on it, because chances are you won't get it early. But as a nice little bit of extra consistency that can glue together a deck that's using 2, 3, or 4 orbitals, it's definitely a solid addition. And honestly, it's just an awesome card. I love the art. It seems very iconic, and I'm excited to give this deck a whirl. 𝐻𝐿, Iron Citadel, Bloodfur Ember Creeper, Verdant Cliffwing, Dwarven Vault, Cindermaw the Scalder, and 𝐻𝐿 again. Double 𝐻𝐿 is fine for the beginning of the game. I'm going to put back the expensive stuff. Try to get some stuff that we can curve out with. So Cindermaw, Dwarven Vault, and the Verdant Cliffwing are going to go back. And I'm going to draw 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Wartamed Manticore, the First, and Vulcan Vale. So, not really any cheaper stuff, but 2 more lands that we are going to need. The Vulcan Vale gives us our Sulfara Link, which is important. And we do have Foulwind Link from Iron Citadel. So this looks like a pretty good starting hand. We're going to put the first gem up for grabs, the first stone, so to speak. Round 1. Round 1 is open, and we are going to draw our card for the round. I draw a Vapor Blast Artillery. Alright, so I'm going to be on the go here. I'm going to start by playing Iron Citadel in round 1. It's a 0 cost land that gives me a Foulwind Link, so all of my Foulwind cards from the Foulwind Orbital are going to cost 1 less. It also has Kingdom 5, so if you control a wonder with flying in this realm, defending enemy wonders without flying don't add their power to battles in this realm, which will be pretty good later on, but it only turns on when I have 5 lands. That's what the Kingdom 5 means, so it won't actually work until I have 5 lands on the field. Pass to you. And that uses up 1 action.
I will play the first in round 1.
First is also a really good land.
Pass that back.
It doesn't have any extra abilities, but it does count as a link for all 6 orbitals, so everything in her hand will cost 1 less, regardless of what orbital it belongs to. Alright, so turn 2, I'm going to go ahead and use an action to play a 𝐻𝐿, and because I have the Foulwind Link from the Iron Citadel, it's going to take that 1 cost that the 𝐻𝐿 costs and reduce it to 0, so I don't have to pay any energy. Pass the turn to you.
I'll pay my 1 energy and play Viking Sage of the Forge.
Viking Sage is a good card.
And his says the first time another wonder with cost 2 or less arrives under your control in any realm, gain a free attack in that realm. It's just for this realm, or this round.
So your cheap wonders can get free attacks as you play them, and save you actions, which can be really powerful if you have enough cheap wonders. It's also worth noting he's got a 3 power, so I can't attack into him with my 2 power 𝐻𝐿, and my 2 power 𝐻𝐿 gets +2 on defense, so you can't attack him with your 3 power because I'll be 4 on defense. So we're kind of at a standstill in round 1, but I'm gonna go to my last action here. Honestly, think my best bet, maybe I'm greedy, I don't know. I'm gonna play another 𝐻𝐿. I'm gonna play both 𝐻𝐿s to realm 1. I have the 1 cost reduction from the Foulwind Link, so it's 0 again. So now I have 4 power there, and on defense I have 8 power in realm 1. Pass to you.
I will play Wave Whisper Bay. I may look at the top card of my deck and put it back on top or bury it. I'll keep him right where he is. And that is my last action.
I am going to use a free action and harvest the Iron Citadel to gain an action. Back up to 1 action. Pass back to you.
Yeah, you can go.
Alright, I'm going to use my 1 action to attack in realm 1 with both 𝐻𝐿s.
Okay.
4 power against your 3 power for your Viking. So I will claim the stone and then pass back to you again.
No, I'm good.
Nothing? You're good? Okay. So we're gonna go to round 2 then. All right, second stone is up for grabs. We draw a card for the round. I draw another Vulcan Vale. Interesting. Interesting. All right, so since I was the last player to actually grab a stone, I get to go first this round. I'm gonna start by playing, by going back up to 3 actions, yeah, and 3 energy. Since it's round 2, we each get 2 energy, and then I get 1 extra energy for claiming a stone. So I'm at 3 energy. My first action is to play a Vulcan Vale in Realm 2. That puts me at 2 actions left for the turn. Pass to you.
I'm gonna play an Iron Citadel in Realm 2.
Okay. So she also has an Iron Citadel. It's a lot of lands you got out. Can't really fault you though. Alright, since I have a 𝐸𝑣𝑒𝑟 from having a Sulfara land in play, I get a cost reduction on all my 𝐸𝑣𝑒𝑟 cards. So I'm going to spend this 3 energy and 1 action to play a 4 cost Bloodfur Ember Creeper with the cost reduction from the Vulcan Vale. It's a 6 power wonder, and on attack it gets +2 this round, which means if you attack with it multiple times in the same round, that +2 will stick until the end of the round, and it'll get bigger and bigger each time for the duration of the round, which is pretty cool. Pass back to you.
Use an action and play 𝐭𝐡𝐞 in Realm 1.
Okay.
No energy though.
Realm 1, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and spend my last action to attack with the Bloodfur Ember Creeper in Realm 2. And since it's uncontested, I will claim the stone. Things seem to be going really well for me right now, but what I've come to gather in this game is that just because you have the early lead doesn't mean you're gonna win. In fact, most times the person that gets the early lead doesn't end up winning in my experience, and that could just be circumstantial, but...
Okay. For my last action, I will spend my 2 energy to play Thundercrash Axe on my Viking Sage of the Forge. It gives him +2, and then
he gets an automatic attack right now,
automatic
right?
attack, and then at the start of each round, he gets a free attack.
So he gets a free attack right now, and then you get a free attack at the start of each round. And it's actually a free attack for everything in the realm. The entire realm attacks at once, which is really cool.
Oh, that's interesting, because this is just the equipped wonder.
I looked up the errata.
Ah. Okay.
So you're swinging in for how much total?
7. It's still not enough to
Still not enough because I have 8 on defense. But it's gonna swing at the beginning of every round and try to take that realm for free without having to spend an action. So I have to constantly worry about when is the round where you play the thing that makes it just powerful enough that you get to take it, you know? Mm-hmm. You don't have to waste actions, so it's kind of scary. So that will end round 2. Start round 3. Third stone is in place. The third realm is open. We go back to 3 actions. I will go up to 5 energy because I have 2 stones and it's round 3. She'll be at a total of 3 energy because 3 realms are open. And we will draw for the round. I draw a Skrull, Ruler of the 3 Lakes. Really don't need that right now, but I guess we'll just hold on to it for a rainy day. That's fine. Alright, I'm gonna start by making sure I get these Vulcan Vales down as quick as possible, because the Vulcan Vales can untap to be harvested for extra actions again when a third Sulfara Link is played. A third Sulfara land with a Sulfara Link is played. So, I want to make sure those Vulcan Vales are down as soon as possible, so I have the opportunity to get those free actions. So yeah, that's gonna be my first action, and then I'm gonna pass to you.
Okay. I am going to use all of my energy. And I'm going to play a Floral Diadem of the Verdant Queen on my Koi scale.
Oh no.
So any dragon...
Oh no.
Dragon, baby, or beast will get +2. So now I have 2, 4, 6, 9 in that row.
Yeah, so Floral Diadem of the Verdant Queen, what it does is it makes it so that any other wonder that shares any type at all with the equipped wonder is going to get a +2 bonus. So now pretty much everything in the deck, not everything, but almost everything, is going to get a +2 bonus, which is a lot. That's already how much there?
9.
So it's enough to beat me even with my defense buffs on the Koi scale, and you don't even have to attack. You can just do it for free at the beginning of next round. So
It is worth noting, though, if I wait till the next round, I don't get that energy.
that's true. If you can claim the stone now, you'll have more energy next round. So choices. What am I gonna do? What am I going to do? I think I just let her take that first stone and try and take another stone to get ahead of it. I could try and shore up my defenses in Realm 1, but I think it's best to just... Yeah, I think it's best to just do this. So I'm going to use 4 energy, go down to 1 action, play a Wartamed Manticore in Realm 3. It costs 5, but it only costs me 4 because I have the Sulfara Link. And it's worth pointing out here that just because I have 2 lands with Sulfara Link doesn't mean I get a -2. You just need 1 as a prerequisite to get the -1 cost reduction, and any more beyond that don't give you additional cost reductions, so the lands aren't completely broken. So Wartamed Manticore costs 4. I have, 1 energy left? And I have 1 action left, and I'm going to pass to you.
Okay. I'll play an Iron Citadel in Realm 3.
Just all of the lands. Just every land ever. Good God. Alright. I guess I'll attack with the Wartamed Manticore.
Okay.
And claim the stone here in Realm 3. That's going to be my last action. And also, on attack, if it has previously attacked this round, you put -2 counters on it. Or, sorry, +2 counters on it. -2, could you imagine?
So terrible.
+2 counters on it, so that it gets more powerful. But that's not relevant this round. But it also has flying, which could be relevant this round, because after combat, the way flying works is I declare combat, and then after combat, I can choose to move it to an adjacent realm if it has flying. So right now I could move it, Realm 4 is not unlocked yet, but I could move it to Realm 2 if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to, because that leaves Realm 3 undefended. So I think I'm just going to call it there and pass to you.
I will attack here. And because I have 9...
Yeah. Attack in Realm 1, take the stone.
That'll be my last action.
I got you.
Alright.
Well, that'll end the realm. The round. That'll end the round. Realms and rounds. Alright, so it's the start of round 4. 4th realm is open. 4th stone is up for grabs. We are up to 3 actions again. I have 6 energy. 4 realms are open, so I have 4, plus I control 2 stones, so that's 6. You get 4 from the realms being open, plus the 1 stone you control, so you're up to 5. We'll draw a card for the turn. Vapor Blast Artillery. Interesting. Alright, so since you were the last person to actually claim a stone, you get to go first this time. So go ahead and do your worst.
Alright, well, I will spend 3 energy, go to 2. And it doesn't matter where I play it, but I'll play it in room 4. I'm going to play a Dragon Gold.
Dragon Gold.
So wonders in my hand would cost 7 or more, will cost 2 less to play.
Ooh, trying to bring out the big guns.
Also, not that it affects anything at the beginning of this realm attacks. Already on the sim.
Yeah, you got a free attack. Because of that Thundercrash Axe, that card is so good. Alright, I'm gonna start... What am I gonna do? That's a good question. I'm gonna start by declaring an attack with Wartamed Manticore. I'll go down to 2 actions, and I'll attack, even though I already control the stone there. Because of the flying ability, after combat I get to move him to Realm 4. And he also has an ability where if he's previously attacked this round, on attack he gets +2 counters. So, I'll pass to you, but if I get to attack again with him, he'll get bigger. And they're counters, so it'll be forever. Pass to you.
Alright, I'm actually going to draw a card. And go to watch.
Excellent. I use a second action, go down to just 1 left. I will attack in Realm 4 with the Wartamed Manticore. I get +2 counters, bringing it up to 8 power. I'm uncontested here, so I'm just gonna snag the stone. That feels good, pass to you. We get a concert too.
Trying to figure out what I want to do. I'm gonna draw another card.
Digging for that
Is interesting.
big play. I see it coming. I have 1 action left. I have 6 power, but what do I put it on? I think I'm gonna try to be forward thinking here. I'm gonna use 3 energy to play a 4-cost Vapor Blast Artillery, which has a 1-cost reduction from my Iron Citadel with the Thawin link, and I will equip the Vapor Blast Artillery to the Wartamed Manticore. And even though I'm not going to use it this turn, and even though I already control the realm there, because it has flying, now I kind of have a mobile weapons platform, where this guy can move around and start to use this. It gives him +3 power, so he's up to 11 power first off, but it also has the ability that when Equipped Wonder attacks, I may move target Defending Wonder to an adjacent realm, so I can kick someone out of the realm I'm attacking and move them over to something else.
It's pretty good.
I don't like the way you said that. I'm gonna pass the turn.
I'm gonna tap my Iron Citadel and gain 1 action. And pass back to you.
Well, that was my last action, so I'm gonna pass.
I'm gonna play Lurking Bloodeye Dragonette.
Of course you are.
And I'm gonna destroy your Vapor...
Even the dog's upset.
I'm gonna destroy your Vapor Blast Artillery.
So, Lurking Bloodeye Dragonette gets to destroy any item when it arrives in a realm. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell him.
Yeah.
Bentley.
He's real upset.
When you first play it on arrival, which an on arrival ability means when you play it from your hand, it triggers that. It gets to destroy any item. So my Vapor Blast Artillery.
I have had him in my hand the whole turn, but I didn't want to waste.
Yeah, I had a feeling, and I was trying to wait to play my items because I wanted you to. Seeing that you didn't have a lot of wonders in the other realms, I was like, oh, if I can just get her to waste her stupid on-arrival stuff now before I play my items, but it just seemed like the best thing to do at the time, so unfortunately, now I have to suffer. Pass the turn back to you.
I am all set.
Alright, so we're both out of actions. It's gonna end round 4. Do we have any end of round abilities?
Nothing that I have currently.
Okay, so round 5 is gonna start. 5th stone is up for grabs. Realm 5 is open. We go to 3 actions, and I'm at 8 energy because of 5 open realms and 3 stones that I control. You're at 6 energy because you control 1 stone. Draw the card for a turn. Floral Diadem of the Verdant Queen. That might be helpful. Alright, so since I was the last person to... Wait, was I the last person? Yeah, the Wartamed Manticore took a stone. So I'll be on the play here.
Attacked there.
Yeah. I think I should just start right off the bat by going down to 2 actions and attacking with the Wartamed Manticore again. Wait, no. That's actually a bad idea. Because the lurking Bloodeye Dragonette can just swing in and steal it. So instead of attacking with the Wartamed Manticore, I'm going to spend 3 energy. Go to 5. And play another Vapor Blast Artillery on my Wartamed Manticore.
That's a primary, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So there are 2 in the deck at most. I will pass back to you. 2 actions left.
Well, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to now. I will go to 5 energy.
Oh god.
And I will go to 2 actions. And I will play a Lurking Bloodeye Dragonette.
Another one. Would you stop killing all my Vapor Blast Artilleries?
Nah, I don't think I will.
Fine.
I had a whole different plan I was going with, but you kind of forced my hand there.
Well, I don't really have a whole lot left to do other than that. There's a few things I can do, but I need a way. If I'm going to use the Manticore to take the stone in Realm 5, then I need a way to defend the realm that he's leaving. And the only way to do that was to move one of your, move your wonder out of that realm. Bring it with me even, because it's not enough to defend against me in Realm 5. So I'm kind of in a pickle now.
And they are both 3 power right now because of the Floral Diadem. Still not enough to beat your Wartamed Manticore, but...
I'm gonna have to just spend an action, go down to just 1 left, and draw a card.
Okay.
I need cards.
For my next action, I will go to... I'll spend 3 and go to 2 energy. 1 action, and I will play Bloodfur Ember Creeper in Realm 3. He is also... He gets +2 this round on attack, so that would make him an 8. The Floral Diadem of the Verdant Queen also buffs him up by 2.
So he big.
Yeah.
He very, very big.
Yes.
I need to be able to defend in Realm 3, and I don't know that I can. This is quite disconcerting. I think I'm going to play a Syl Scalewisper. So I use 1 energy, go to 4. And my final action, I will play it, I guess, in Realm 3. Well, it won't really be... Will it be enough to defend? 3, 4, 5... Not quite. You know what? I'm not going to play it in Realm 3. I'm going to play it in Realm 5. I don't think there's anything I can do to prevent you from taking that stone in Realm 3. Alright, so because Syl Scalewisper hits the board, I get tokens. We're going to go with 1 dragon token in Realm 1, because I have koi scales there, which count as dragons. and 1 token in realm 5, or 4 rather, because I have the Wartamed Manticore, which counts as a dragon, and then Syl Scalewisper does count herself, so I get another dragon token in realm 5. So that's 3 dragon tokens. So Syl Scalewisper has 0 power, but gets +1 for each stone that I claimed. So right now she's a 3, and then all of the dragon tokens are 2. So I have 5 power in realm 5 right now. But I am out of actions. So pass the turn.
For my last action, I will swing in to realm 3.
Yes, you will.
Take a stone.
Yes, you will. When you pass back to me, I'm going to use a free action to harvest one of my Vulcan Vales for an action.
Okay.
Which will bring me back up to 1 action. Pass back to you. She's thinking hard.
Well, he is 10 right now, so I'm good. Oh.
Alright. I'm going to use that 1 action to attack in realm 5 with my Syl Scalewisper and my 1 token to claim the stone in realm 5.
Alright.
Pass back to you.
We're good here.
Alright, so the end of the round. If we have any end of round triggers, I don't think we do. So we go back up to 3 actions. The 6th realm is now open. Stone's up for grabs. We have 6 energy plus 3 for me because of my stones, so I'm up to 9. And then I believe you have 8?
Yes.
Alright, so we draw a card for the round. Thundercrash Axe. Alright. That's fine. I can make this work.
Can you go first?
I certainly do. This is gonna be bananas. Here we go. I'm gonna spend all 9 of my energy and 1 of my actions, so I have 2 actions left, to play a 10-cost Skrull, ruler of the 3 lakes. Remember that guy that I got in my opening hand that I was like, I guess I'll hold on to this for a rainy day? Well, it's raining.
Alright.
It's raining Skrulls. So Skrull is gonna come down in realm 3, a 10 power wonder. He's also a core, so it's important to note I can't play him unless I have a Thawwind Link, but I do because of my Iron Citadel. And on play, I choose an on-arrival ability of another wonder I control and trigger it 3 times. So that Syl Scalewisper ability, I now get 3 more tokens in every realm that has a dragon.
Okay.
So, now that there's a Skrull in realm 3, I get 3 in realm 3. And I'm going to use the white dice to mark how many tokens. So 3 tokens in realm 3, an additional 3 in realm 4, so I have 4 total, an additional 3 in realm 5, so I have 4 total, and an additional 3 in realm 1, so I have 4 total. Even the dog's excited.
I know. It's like, this is stupid. This is insane.
He's cheering me on. It's fine. So I pass to you.
Okay.
I am all out of energy, though.
I'm going to spend 3 energy and go to 5. And I'm going to play a rend.
Oh no.
And I'm going to rend your scroll. Goodbye.
You're a jerk. You realize that, right?
Yeah. Your turn.
Am I going to be able to play anything worth anything without you just destroying it?
Probably not.
Alright. Well, at least I have a whole bunch of tokens. I'm going to play nothing because I have no energy. But I am going to... what do I got here? 6. 6 because of my tokens in Realm 3. It's not quite enough. Alright, I'm going to declare an attack with my Wartamed Manticore.
Okay.
Not because I need the stone in Realm 4, but because I need to move the Manticore over to Realm 3. So, the Manticore is now in Realm 3, and it has attacked once, which means if it attacks again, it gets +2 counters. Pass the turn.
That's not good either. I'm gonna draw a card. Alright.
You would.
Your turn.
Alright, I will use my last action, and I will attack in Realm 3 with the Manticore and the 3 tokens for a total of 14, but it's the second time attacking, so his on-attack ability triggers. He gets +2 counters, so it would be 16 total in Realm 3.
Okay.
So I take the stone, I'm out of actions, pass the turn.
Draw another card. Your turn.
That is a lot of cards. I will pass.
Okay.
So, final round?
Yep.
Alright, 7th realm is unlocked. The stone is up for grabs. Go back to 3 actions. I control 4 stones, which means I have a total of 11 energy. Could you pass me that die? She controls 1 stone, so she has 8 energy. And since I was the last person to take a stone, I will go first. And my first action will be to draw a card, oddly enough. All that energy, but I need to draw cards. I draw a 𝐸𝑣𝑒𝑟.
My turn. I'll play a Vulcan Vale in Realm 7.
Interesting. I need to draw still. I'm going to use another action to draw a card. I draw a Blinsworth Goldscale. Pass to you.
I'll spend 4 energy. And play a Wartamed Manticore in Realm 7.
Oof. I am desperately digging for another Vulcan Vale to get an extra action, and I'm starting to second guess whether that's worth it. Or a third any Sulfara land, because my Vulcan Vales can untap if I play as a third Sulfara land, so. Unfortunate. I guess what I should do is use my last action and 6 energy, which puts me at a total of 5, to play Blinsworth Goldscale, which I just drew, into Realm 7 to try to successfully defend against your Manticore there.
Okay.
It's a power 7, it's flying, and when it captures a stone, I get 2 energy and draw a card.
Okay.
I'm out of actions, pass to you.
I will attack here because it's an 8 because of a floral item.
It's an 8 because of the Floral Diadem.
Yep.
Doesn't it also have an ability on attack?
If it previously attacks, it gets +2.
Okay.
So I will draw take the stone, and I am out of actions, and I will pass to you.
Alright. I am gonna tap a Vulcan Vale for an action. Go up to 1.
Okay.
Pass back to you.
I am also going to tap a Vulcan Vale for an action.
I am gonna spend an action, go down to no actions, to play the first in Realm 6. We'll go Realm 6. Pass to you.
I'm going to play it for 3 energy. A red in Realm 3 and get rid of your Wartamed Manticore.
That's unfortunate. Wartamed Manticore is toast.
I'll go to no actions. I will pass through.
I will tap the first to gain an action. So I'm hanging on with one last action.
I will tap an Iron Citadel for an action.
Now the reason I'm doing what I'm doing with these lands and playing them and using them for actions is to try to draw out the game. I want you to use as many actions as possible before I commit my final action. That way I have more knowledge and I can better defend myself against what I think is coming. So I think it's a smart tactic. But I'm running out of options here, so I've got 1 action left. I've got no more untapped lands. I think my best bet is, instead of trying to take a realm, I think I have to go 3 energy down to 2.
Okay.
Use my very last action of the game to play a Floral Diadem of the Verdant Queen myself. It's gonna go on something small that you don't want to kill. Let's put it on Syl Scalewisper. I could put it on a token, but let's put it on Syl Scalewisper. So everything that's a dragon is gonna get +2. Although I changed my mind. We're not gonna put it on Syl Scalewisper because the Ember Creeper isn't a dragon. So if I can find a dragon beast to put it on, which the 𝐭𝐡𝐞 is, we're gonna put it on the 𝐭𝐡𝐞. 𝐭𝐡𝐞 is a dragon beast, so now all of my dragon tokens get +2/+2. +2 power. All of my dragons period get +2 power, but also because it's a dragon beast, all of my beasts get +2 power, and the Ember Creeper is a beast. So everything's a +2. That increases my chances of being able to defend the 4 stones that I have, and that is it. I am out. You've got a whole bunch of untapped lands over there to get actions, so I am worried, but it's all you.
I'm going to tap to get an action. Pass to you.
Pass back.
I'm going to tap to get another action.
So you're up to 3.
Mm-hmm.
I pass back.
Alright, I'm going to attack for a second time. So now he will be a 10.
Triggers the on-attack ability
Yep.
to give it +2 counters.
And then I will move here. And go to 2.
Because it's the second time it attacked this round, right?
Yes. Yep.
And I believe if it attacks again, it'll go up to +4, theoretically.
Yes.
Alright, so you claim the stone
No,
in
I
realm...
I already had this stone.
Oh, you already
I
had it.
attacked and moved.
You did it to move? Okay. You
Alright.
claim the stone from yourself.
Yes.
Alright, I have to pass back. I have no free actions or anything.
I will attack and move here.
So you attack in Realm 6. There you do actually claim the stone. And then you move him again with this flying ability over to Realm 5.
Yes.
And that puts you at how many actions?
I am down to 2 actions.
I thought you were at 3 total.
I'm down to 1 action.
Sounds about right. I have 4 stones, you have 3. All you have to do, you have 1 action, you have to take 1 stone. Is it possible?
6, right? So it becomes 8. Wait, no.
What are you talking about? This is a
6,
total of 6.
but it's 12. And he is 8.
Oh, you're right, because of the Floral Diadem.
He's 10 if he attacks. That's...
Your best bet would have been Realm 2, but you don't have anything there. Realm 2 is a power 8. Yeah, having all of the Blossom tokens combined with the Floral Diadem is just kind of insane.
Draw a card.
Drawing a card with your last action?
Yep. Did nothing for me.
So that's
Could
it?
have helped. Yeah. I had one more action.
I was worried, all of those... You killed like everything. You rendered my biggest legendary. You killed both of my removal equipments. I was so scared. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck techs, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.